All right, let's begin this.
If you guys didn't have sex, would you still be together? And a lot of them are like, no. Okay, so remove sex from the relationship or remove sexual chemistry from the relationship. Would you want to spend quality time with this person consistently? Another person said, could you spend 10,000 meals with this person? Because that's what it's going to be like if you're getting married and you're with them for a long time. 10,000 meals is interesting enough. And when we jump into sexual chemistry first, the foundation is usually a little shakier.
Yeah, I totally agree. This is the thing, is that how men view sex depends on how obsessed they are with sex, how obsessed they are, right? If they value sex above all things, then they're only going to see sex and they're never truly going to connect with you. But as a guy grows older, the testosterone lowers, and so they start to view sex completely different simply because of their hormones are changing, right? So it truly does depend on the guy. But generally speaking, when the guy is young, guys see sex as an activity, like a sport. Women see sex as a ritual, as a spiritual connection with the divine, and that's where the disconnect happens.
And also, if you're doing that with multiple people, it's hard to build a strong foundation with one, and you're never really getting that peace.
So I'm talking more about what makes women sexually attracted.
And what happens is that guys get used to detached sex, right? They get used to having sex with a girl and not having any emotional connection. And this is also a big disconnect, that guys have sex with their, dizzy, and women have sex with their hearts a lot of the times.
To you. Men get stimulated visually. You're turned on by what you see. Women are more stimulated by social interaction. We get more turned on by socially interactive qualities. It's why men tend to watch more porn than women do, and why women tend to read more porn than men do. We don't get that turned on by looks. That's why if you want to attract us on looks alone, you have to have crazy.
Well, what she's talking about attracting depends how you're attracting them. Are you attracting them for a relationship or sex? Right? So if you're attracting a guy for a relationship, it's not going to be about the looks, right? But if you're attracting a guy for sex, yeah, it is going to be about the looks.
Crazy good looks. Whereas pretty much any girl not wearing a bra can turn you guys on. Meanwhile, I've kissed
she's right about that.
some ugly ass men just because they were sweet and funny.
Follow me.
What runs through a guy's head during sex? Many men may not be as present as you might think. A lot of them have performance anxiety, which is one of the leading causes of erectile dysfunction in young men. Often, they're thinking about things to distract themselves so they can last longer.
Yeah, that's true. If let me tell you something, man. If you're doing the holy dizzy with a guy and his is really strong and he pauses, I promise you he's doing math. I promise you he's thinking about his grandma. Ladies and gentlemen, you do not understand how often grannies come into the picture when it comes to having sex. Now, grannies come not because you want to think of granny, but because granny is more of how can I say this, a regulatory system that guys have to control the amount of hardness that the guy has.
For example, they may be thinking about football, statistics, or their grandma. In addition,
I swear to God, I'm not even kidding with you. She fucking said it. I swear to God. That is exactly what guys are thinking about when they're having sex. Granny. If I was a grandma, I'd be like, hey, guys, we have a rule. Y'all can come visit me, but please do not sub me in.
Men can be thinking about the intensity of physical pleasure, feeling close to their partner, or certain things.
That's also, right? It depends, right? If they have no emotional connection, yeah, we're going to be doing some math, right? But if they love you, what they'll notice is that you start, right?
Fantasies that they may have. Remember, it's always important to get tested for STIs, which you can do at home using one of Yaxley's kits.
So if guys don't get
I did not know you could do that.
attached through sex, how do they release oxytocin? Well, first of all, they do release
Eye contact, in my opinion. Guys release oxytocin through eye contact and through having a sense of connection with the person.
oxytocin during sex. However, it is trumped by the effect of testosterone, the fight or flight hormone, and so they don't necessarily fall in love through sex. However, they do fall in love through norepinephrine and vasopressin.
Well, in my opinion, that's why the testosterone lowers the more you start loving the person. And so when the testosterone lowers, I think testosterone, don't get me, please wrong. I know some of you guys will. Testosterone is what do you call when two things don't go together? I don't know. Antithesis to that. The point is that too much testosterone causes a guy to not have that type of emotional connection. It's more of a physical thing. Testosterone has to lower for the guy to feel those lovey-dovey, fuzzy feelings.
And those are neurohormones that come with time and longing and trust and love. So slowing things down is actually
She has the white lady voice. What she is?
A gift to them. But as well, you should know that we all can gain oxytocin through touch. Cuddling a baby makes young fathers produce more oxytocin. And hugging each other for at least 20 seconds gives us oxytocin and dopamine.
Boy, you gotta talk like that. Yeah, I hate when people talk like this. She's doing the whole compassionate voice.
So try it. Touch is so good for us.
When a man is
I
constantly
swear to God, I thought she was gonna say, "Try it, touch yourself." I'm like, "Bitch, what the fuck?"
needing to sleep with women to the point where it's like an addiction. The truth is, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Because he can sleep with hundreds of
It's like it's not sex anymore, right? Because sex will be something that you do and you're connecting with the person. What he's talking about, and I agree with, is that sex is almost like a drug where the person is not even there. You are literally a drug. Your poom poom is a drug. And I'm not looking at anything else but the drug. And so you can see how there's an opaque screen of division between you and the person because you're just so obsessed with sex. Obsessed. Men who are obsessed are toxic, in my opinion.
women. He will never be satisfied. What he's actually dealing with is a deep mother wound because the mother is the source of love. And so when a little boy did not receive the fullness of that care and love from his mother, when he didn't receive the fullness of the love from the feminine, he will spend an entire lifetime looking for it in a woman. And only when he heals, only when he comes back to his heart, only when he finally realizes that his entire
Because they're trying, it's so unconscious though, and usually single parent households, the most obsessed men on the planet, because without a dad you can't instill the discipline in that boy to say, yo, calm your hot ass down, calm down. Like the dad gives that discipline. But for example, if the guy is only raised with his dad, he'll have too much discipline, similar to a military kid, right? But no love, right? That's why it's important to have both.
entire life, he hasn't been looking for a woman. He's actually been looking for the one thing he never received. He's been looking for his mother's love. And
And this phantom, a lot of the times, this happens when a boy has a narcissistic mother, and that mother is using the boy for male validation she never got for her husband or ex. And so boys learn to worship women because his mom is his mom and she's hurt. She was abandoned by a guy. And so these boys will tend to be drawn to women and repelled by men. And so they're the type to have a lot of female friends and not a lot of male friends, right? It's the opposite, right? With women who have a lot of male friends but don't have a lot of female friends, right?
then and only then will he ever be able to give himself to just one woman.
How to avoid men seeing
And this is Matthew's best look.
you in a sexual way only. Look, people sometimes try to see you in 2D, and you need to make it impossible for people to see you in 2D. You have to make it so that someone has to see you in 3D. When someone walks into a room and you think they're just hot, that's 2D. When they reveal a vulnerability about themselves, when they reveal a close relationship they have with someone in their life, their sister, their cousin, their niece, their aunt, their mum, when they reveal something they're truly passionate about, a hobby that they love doing, when someone reveals more and more and more about themselves in a way that you can no longer see them in 2 dimensions, they become 3-dimensional, and that's when they start seeing us as more than one thing.
They did a scientific study where they studied men who looked at pictures of attractive women. and they watched what part of their brain lit up when they looked at pictures of women who were like, scantily dressed. They were showing breasts and all that other stuff. And for those men, the part of their brain that lit up was the part of their brain that saw an object. When a man was shown a picture of a pretty woman, the more that she revealed, the part of his brain that would light up when he saw the pictures was a part of his brain that saw an object where he felt no sense of attachment. It's like a hamburger, ma'am. The same part of his brain that when it sees a good hamburger lit up for her. So basically, you're just a hamburger and some French fries to him. That's all you want.
Well, that's what happens when you objectify women, and usually this happens when you, like I said, sex obsession, like an addictive personality, a person who is alone a lot, who doesn't have any perspective, who generally alone a lot. Guys who are alone a lot get addicted to porn. And a lot of the times that porn addiction creates an objectification of women. That it's very hard for a guy to see a woman for how she is. And once the guy actually gets to know an actual woman, he'll feel disenchanted because who he sees women to be is in his mind and is not even touched with reality. She burps, he gets turned off by her because he just doesn't know that this is a fucking human. So much objectification in his mind that he cannot connect with that person. So it's almost like how a man views sex truly does depend on his attachment style. Yes, most guys will view sex superficially, at least in the beginning. But as they get older, testosterone lowers, and hopefully that guy is not bitter enough and broken from his job that he's able to see women for who they are and appreciate them. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video.